my sorrow grow, grow. There's that music in the air. It makes my sorrow grow. Let that music take you there, far from the place you know, no, no, no. I can feel it when you sing. Then you know there is love there. I can feel it when you sing. And you know there is love, love. You better look for love in the music, lost in the melody. You'll find love. Look for love in the music, lost in the melody. You find love. Ya Zuli mi yagang salvo esogalame. 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 Uzomthola mplome lanjeni, uzomthola mplome lanjeni sogala, uzomthola mplome lanjeni, uzomthola mplome lanjeni.
Thank you so very much. While we are still standing, we're going to be starting with the event. Let us start by the singing of the national anthem. Let's remain standing as a sign of respect as the event is about to start. The national anthem. Thank you. We may take our seats. We may take our seats. Yewen, who's it again?
Sorry, baby.
I can like munna
Sorry.
I can like boyfriend. Tela. Hey, hey, chala
Sorry, mun. Kiyakubela, ngasapita mun. Kiyakubela mun. Sorry mun.
I can like munna dom.
Ngasapita happy.
This is the beginning of our victory against gender-based violence when we see it for what it is. It is a respectable woman who's wearing makeup in public, but in private beats her husband.
Sorry. Hey.
It is a boyfriend on campus who says to you, baby girl, I know you want to go to the cafeteria. You look hungry, but you know what you need to do first. Dishantu. It is what it is. It is a man in the house who refuses to give his family money. And his children are hungry, his wife is hungry. It is an employee who asks, a boss who asks an employee for sexual favors in order to promote them. It is the politician who also asks for sexual favors in order to give you that tendanya. It is so many faces, some of them very subtle, that you and I may never be able to describe them in public like this. But when gender-based violence and femicide raise its ugly face in public, what are we going to do about it? And that is why we are here today. All of us, we are here as solution finders. A round of applause, clap your hands for yourselves. You are here to find the solution. From government and all sectors of government, funders, strategic partners, organizations that stand up and say enough is enough. And that is why we are here in this room today. So by saying that, ladies and gentlemen, my gents and my girls, I'd like to welcome you to this GBVF mitigation civic education program launch. The civic education, very important in all of this, because it is when we start educating each other about how to go about facing this monster that is finishing us up and eating us up as a society, that we will be able to prosper. My name is Mpomashita. I'm not alone today.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Michael Mbambare, well known as Hoodie M on stage. And today is going to be nice. And we are going to enjoy while we are also learning. On my left-hand side, there is our bathrooms. If the nature calls, always go on my left-hand side. And I just want to welcome you. Thank you.
So ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a good one today. We are going to be learning. I would like to see by indication of hand who is here to learn today. Aibo, looks better. So we're going to be getting information. This is not just information, it's information that is going to empower you and I so that we go out into the world and we move in a different way, different from what we are currently seeing right now. So in a way to welcome you and to make sure that we get this program underway, I'd like to call to the stage right now for welcome and acknowledgement of guests, Deborah Morale from the Capricorn Tibet College Student Support Services. Show her some love as she comes on stage. You can do better than that.
Woo!
Keep it going, keep it going, keep it
Wow.
going.
Wow.
Keep it going.
Wematuta sabilane, wematuta mandane, ilengozi, setilengozi, maya pela bafas.
Thank you so much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. My name is Teboko Mukhale. I'm the Student Support Manager for Capricorn TVET College. And let me take this opportunity and appreciate your presence for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and join us for this launch today. This is highly appreciated, and it is a clear indication that we are all into this together. This is a pandemic that, as a country, we need to deal with it head on. It can never be business as usual, while always when we listen to what is happening to other sisters of ours, to our children, to our parents, and we're sitting there, we are quiet, we're not doing anything. And coming from a higher institution of learning, this highly affects us because we are mandated to educate, to groom, to create professionals in the career that we are training our students in. But we are aware that GBV is now surfacing in our campuses. We're now sitting with the death case of a student who was killed early hours of the morning on Saturday in one of our campuses at Ramakopa campus. So we are also concerned. And thank you, Dr. Peter, once again, for choosing Capricorn TVET to be involved in this program, because you could have chosen any institution, but you chose us, and we do appreciate this. And together with all stakeholders that are here, we do believe that our intervention will definitely make an impact. And as you indicated when we were briefing our student leadership, that motto, "Kiboto, Kaboto," let's use that phrase as we are building the young ones. Ladies and gentlemen, help me to acknowledge the presence of the following people in our midst, and not that we are not all important, but we know that there are those that are important more than others, but we are all equal. Let me acknowledge the presence of Shadrach Mutou, an AA member from Services Center. Let's also acknowledge Noto Logogo, AA member from Services Center, and Kuruman, a governor, AA member from Services Center, Patricia Sitole, AA member from Services Center, Rendani Gamini, AA member from Services Center, Stephen DeFries, chairperson, Services Center, Wiseman Dinwa, AA member, Services Center, Alice Karanja, AA member from Services Center, Julian Zimande, AA member from Services Center, Tando Gumende, a national commissioner from the Commission for Gender Equality, Mashudu Mavungu, executive manager, corporate service from MQA, Tamzana Mudonzwa, the CEO of Sasita, Chris Mudau, a board chairperson from Sasita, Mashudu Matiwisi, operation manager from TUT, Wezi Kosa, a board chairperson from Chieta, Koshi Damani, the manager in communication and branding from PepSita, Colonel Maja from SAPS, Subusi Sodada, the acting CEO from Services Center, Makanya Blai, the acting executive from Services Center, George Peter, our doctor, CEO from ASAF, Philip Kwambe, the secretariat from Services Center, and we also acknowledge the media and the VIPs that are here. Let's also acknowledge Polokwane Ratilani, our honorable MEC from the Honorable Mayor, Executive Mayor from Capricorn District, Councillor Johnny Mpe from Polokwane Municipality, Tembi Hadebe from the Provincial Commissioner, Limpopo Province, and Mashudu Matsiwini from Head of TUT, and Koni Maleka, the Deputy Principal of Capricorn Tibet College, Dr. Palisa Matlangu from ASAF, and Mr. Chain Maimela, the Principal of Nkangala Tibet College. Ladies and gentlemen, you are all welcome, and thanks once again for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. And I should also acknowledge the attendance of our union, our student representative council, and students that are here. You are all welcome. Thank you so much.
Ngiyathandaza Nkosi uphendule imithandazo yethu abantwana bayalila nabo baba bayalila ngiyathandaza Nkosi bezengula bebulala bekhalela ubomi bethu yenelela 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 yo 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 vaya pela babas.
Let's give a round of applause for the band. Yo, aye. Hey.
Yes,
Aye.
absolutely amazing.
And thank you so much, Mrs. Mohale. Thank you so much. Martina, you look very good.
Thank you. You look handsome yourself.
Ichabo rekita ayo don't bet yourself. Gautliwa wena.
And the thing is, I may laugh right now, but it really isn't a laughing matter if you think about it. Because, think about it. How many men are really open enough to say that my wife beat me up? Especially when the wife looks like just a weakling, innocent, cannot do no harm, can't even harm a fly.
Yatsiwa kuwa banchi, but I know you love. I know you beat me because you love.
You see, that is another thing that through education we are able to address, the mindset. Because a lot of the times we think it's the physical aggression. We think it's the words that we hear. But we fail to think about what it does to our thinking and the mindset that we end up having. So when you hear a grown man like this saying, I know why you beat me up is because you love me, that tells you there's something in the mindset that needs to be re-educated.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to observe the moment of silence for GBVF victims. And let's put our hand together for the Services SETA Accounting Authority member, Ms. Julia Zimande.
Round of applause, please, as she comes to the stage. Please keep it going as she comes to the stage.
You don't have to worry, and don't you be afraid. Joy comes in the morning. Troubles may don't last always. For there's a friend named Jesus who will wipe your tears away. And if your heart is broken, all you got to do, just lift your head and say, oh, I know I can make it. I know that I can stay. No matter what may come away, my life is in your hands.
For those who no longer speak, whose voices were stolen in the silence of the night, whose dreams were shattered by hands meant to protect. For names we whisper, but whose faces we must never forget. For the girl who never made it home. For the mother who cried unheard. For the boy too afraid to say his name. For the child who still waits to be named. We stand. Not in mourning, but in defiance. Not just in grief, but in promise. Not just in silence, but in unity. May this moment remind us that justice is not just a word, that healing is a journey, and that change begins with us. May their names live, not in the shadow of tragedy, but in the light of our actions. Rest in power. Before we move forward, I ask that we take a moment to honor those who have suffered, a moment to remember those we have lost, a moment to reaffirm our commitment to the world where no one lives in fear. Please join me in observing a moment of silence. May this silence remind us that our voices must never be silent in the fight against GBVF. May our actions today honor those whose stories were never told. Thank you.
Let's give a round of applause.
You know, earlier on I did mention that all of us in this venue as we are here, at the different levels that we find ourselves, whether at a student level, whether at an organizational level, whether at a political level, we are here with one thing in common, is that to find a solution. And I would like us to just affirm the reason that brings us here, the one thing that binds us in this room, with these powerful statements. And as we say this, I would like also to the organizations that are here today to just see what is going on. Maybe you got the invitation, maybe you've been seeing the emails coming in, and you're not quite sure what kind of programs are being implemented. When we speak of education, what exactly are we speaking of? Maybe the first commitment you can just make is to just say, I am a solution finder, or I am a part of the solution. Can we try that? Let's all say, I am part of the solution. I am part of the solution. I say no to violence. I say no to abuse. I say no to femicide. I say no to inhumanity. I am a part of the solution. So that is something that I would like us to really let it marinate in our system, to say I'm a part of the solution. Even if you are at the receiving end of this program, of being educated, you are part of the solution because you are tomorrow's solution. And even if you are here as an organization that is willing to put their money where their mouth is, you are part of the solution. A round of applause for that, please.
We are here empowering a safer future.
Yes.
So we are here to launch that. We want to create that a safer future for this country. So for that, we are going to have a reflection on GBV situations from the national and international reflections. I'm going to call Advocate Thando Gumede from the Commission for Gender Equality, and he is a national commissioner. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Advocate Thando Gumede.
You waiting for your name to be called. Your body shaking with disbelief. Cause you never ever wait for it. Say, whoa, 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 just so, whoa, whoa, just so,
Wow, so beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Greetings and good morning, everyone. In particular, Honorable MEC Florence Razilani, Honorable Councillor Mamerupi Tefo, Ma'am Julian Zimande, Mrs. Busiso Dladla, Dr. George Peta, Ma'am Connie Malika, Dr. Palesa Mahlanga, and the most distinguished guests of them all, the students of Capricorn TVET College, and your leaders who represent you within the Student Representative Council. For the past 2 years or so, I've been in deep reflection about the status of human rights and the attainment of socio-economic and political equity, not only in South Africa, but around the world too. My submission is that if you really want to understand what popular discourse is currently taking place in different parts of the world, as well as locally, just go to the internet and you will find out how different people think, why they hold these views, and how they are being influenced. In particular, places like YouTube and TikTok have become spaces where more closed-off communities have been able to find greater expression without being anonymous. There is a relatively new phenomenon called #SwallowTheRedPill, also known as the Red Pill movement, which initially found expression in an online community called Reddit, where intergenerational misogynists and incels would post content about being an alpha male, dominating women, having sex with women, rejection from women, anti-feminism, and the like. For those of you who do not know what an incel is, the Anti-Defamation League, which works to address hate and extremism, defines incels as heterosexual men who blame women in society for their lack of romantic success. Further, according to the Oxford Languages, an incel is a member of an online community of young men who consider themselves unable to attract sexually and typically associate those views of hostility towards women and men who are sexually active. And of course, those incels refer to those men who are able to attract women either romantically or sexually as simps. For those of you who do not know what the term simp means, it is a slang insult for men who are seen to be too attentive to women or displaying likeness of their woman crush. The idea of the swallow the red pill movement and the red pill alpha male emanates from the movie called The Matrix, where Neo had to make a decision to take the blue pill and keep on existing in the lie of the Matrix, or to take the red pill and be freed from the Matrix and to see the truth for what it is. According to red pill men, the truth is that white men are under attack. Women are masculine, especially black most importantly, that masculinity is under attack. I would like to share with you today an extract which was posted a few months ago on the Red Pill space of Reddit. Here it is. The average man uses only 5% of his girlfriend. You need to use much more. Most people in the Red Pill mistakenly believe that women are only for sex. Wrong. They are also for cooking. All the great alpha males of history had women cooking for them. A lot of you consider yourselves traditional men. Therefore, it is up to you to preserve the tradition of telling your woman to cook for you. And she would be better off for it too. You see, women have nimble hands that get cold easily and are generally low in energy, which make them ideal sweatshop workers. The capitalist wants your girlfriend to work a BS job, sending emails all day. But she would be much happier humming herself in your kitchen, cooking you tasty treats. Providing her this safe space would make you both a feminist and a traditionalist. End of quote. Folks, this community is anonymous. But when you read the entire post, you can tell that this is a young man because he speaks about going to the gym and taking steroids, and he talks about his mother as well. So I'm assuming that this is a young man in his 20s or his 30s. Nevertheless, this anonymous and exclusive community has been in existence for quite some time. And it has gained traction beyond very specific online spaces and now exists on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram in the light of day. Misogynists are no longer masking their misogyny, and they are now even attracting millions of followers across social media platforms like YouTube and TikTok. They are unmasked, they are unashamed, and in the eyes of young men, they are mentors for how young men can establish themselves in these four realms of power. Number one, access to resources. Number two, mobility. Number three, the ability to influence. Number four, the power to self-determine. Let me quickly unpack those four realms of power. Insofar as access to resources is concerned, it pushes the propaganda to become rich in your 20s and early 30s and amass as much wealth as possible to give value as a human being. Mobility, driving expensive cars, and so if you don't drive a Lamborghini, if you don't drive a Mercedes-Benz or BMW, you are lesser than other men. Be seen or heard, even if under an unknown identity, attract women and dominate them. And finally, the power to self-determine is restricted only to heterosexuality and being the alpha male. So what is the status quo of human rights, equity, and intersectionality? Is it disintegrating or is it flourishing? Superficially, I see these social movements as disintegrating. Superficially. Largely because of the contradictions and sometimes intentional and unintentional ignorance that has been weaponized against those who wish to free themselves, aka the red pill itself, from the clutches of patriarchy. On the surface, there seems to be an unending gender war that sees even women carrying guns against one another, both on behalf of the patriarchy and for the entertainment of patriarchs. If you would browse YouTube, it would not be long until you stumbled across videos of such as Andrew Tate, blaming feminism for increased violence in society, for men's rage, socioeconomic disparities, unhappy households, divorces, and sexist men. And if you go deep enough, you will find women who are in support of these men. You know, your typical patriarchy princesses, your femmes like Pearlie Davis. Brittany defines femmes as women who identify as involuntarily celibate. The term is an approximate counterpart to the more widely known label of incel. For those of you who do not know who Andrew Tate is, he is an influencer teaching young men how to get rich and often spews misogyny. Recently, he spoke about how his sister is the property of her husband, or how she would be the property of her husband, and how women must give up their freedom and autonomy in order to be protected by their boyfriends or their husbands. Men must dictate where and when you can go and cannot go in order to exercise protection. Pearl, the femcel, is a podcaster known for being the female version of Andrew Tate, who is famous for body shaming women, telling women that it's okay and normal for men to cheat, and telling women that they are not special. These two people have alone millions of followers, and their content is the subject of most debates regarding the state of feminism and anti-feminism, and the state of human rights, young men, and women. Now, if one were to purely go off the superficial massacre of equity amongst the sexes and genders, it would be agreeable that these movements, ideologies, and theories are dying a slow and very embarrassing death, with culture vultures such as Pearl Davis driving the train to end all forms of liberty, dignity, and respect for women and girls. However, upon deeper introspection, I now understand that it's not necessarily true that the human rights movement, these left-wing theories and ideologies are dying or disintegrating. I believe that this is actually a facade. What is actually happening is that we are in fact winning, and we must therefore remain committed to the fight against patriarchy and all forms of gender-based violence. But how do we continue to intensify our work against the local and global anti-human rights and pro-GBV movements, which are being reignited by Donald Trump, the United States, and its conservative right-wing mandate called Project 2025? I believe that the best place to start is with our systems of education, and in particular, language. You see, as early as the 4th century BC, that is between 384 and 322 BC, Aristotle declared that women were women by virtue of a certain lack of qualities. Early thinking about the difference between women and men was based on the essentialist ideas about gender, which maintain that biology is destiny. Enter essentialism, the godfather of patriarchy. Essentialism sees men as able to think, not just to think, but to think logically, to think abstractly and analytically. Women, on the other hand, are emotional, overly compassionate, irritatingly nurturing. These essentialist associations may have been innocuous at first, but they soon mutated into vicious weapons of mass social, economic, and political destruction. And it is these thoughts, ideas, and feelings that are intricately woven into our language. Thereafter, into our long-standing practices, culture, customs, traditions, socializations, as well as into our almost impenetrable ideologies. And so this ecosystem feeds into itself 10 years, 50 years, 100 years, and 1,000 years. It is my submission here today that at the core of this ecosystem is language. But what is language? Language is a creative system which associates form with meaning. The word form is a general way or a modality of representing meaning, whether that is sound, writing, sign, movement, or gesture. However, the forms that we choose do not have a universal rule which is determined by one community and imposed onto another, like colonization did. For example, the letter B is a form that represents a part of a bigger word. But alone, it very rarely has a complete meaning unless you are answering a multiple choice question. However, a singular sign, movement, or gesture can mean an entire sentence. And sometimes that is all that needs to be said. According to the 20th century linguist Edward Sapir, language is an arbitrary system of symbolicism. Sapir goes further on to say that language is three things. Number one, language is symbolic. Two, language is a system. Number three, language is arbitrary. Now, what does arbitrary mean? Arbitrary is based on the random choice or personal whim rather than any reason or system. In other words, arbitrariness means there is no basis. Now let that sink in for 1 second. Language is at the mercy of each individual and community's creativity. That means that the same people and communities that invented guns and warfare and human trafficking and misogyny and misogynoir and gender-based violence and eugenics and racism and slavery and colonization are also responsible for the inventiveness of language. Folks, we are all gathered here today because of the legacy of arbitrariness, which has led to the legacy of violence. But the purpose of this gathering is to build a new legacy of intentionality. What if in this very moment we could rewrite the legacy of negative creativity, which is based on baseless arbitrariness, and replace it with positive creativity, which is intentionally empowering, fair, just, equitable, and revolutionary? What if we could fight the legacy of gender-based violence and femicide using education and language as weapons of mass deconstruction and reconstruction? Yes, indeed, we are gathered here today in the name of disrupting the essentialism that drives patriarchy. But equally, we are here today in the name of Ubuntu. But then again, what is Ubuntu? I submit. Ubuntu is a Nguni term that linguistically originates from the peoples of Southern Africa. However, the ideologies and principles that belie this concept have always existed throughout the length and breadth of the African continent. Historically, these ideologies and principles found different varied linguistic expressions, but it is undeniable that there has always been a congruent, dynamic, and fluid golden thread which ran throughout our different African communities and contexts. I intentionally use the words congruent and dynamic because even in our oneness, we are ever evolving in our consciousness. And we have found beautifully unique ways of expressing these evolutions and revolutions. I have also intentionally used the word fluid because our similarities have always coexisted along our dissimilarities. Indeed, we are one, but even as one, our humanity has always existed on a spectrum since time immemorial. In other words, there's never been just one way of being human. For instance, we have always existed on a spectrum of abilities, phenotypical appearances, ethnicities, beliefs, sexes, genders, and sexual orientations. And on this spectrum, no one has ever occupied greater value than the next human being. This remains at the core of Ubuntu even to this day. Above all, Ubuntu remains Africa's most precious resource for the world. The term Ubuntu is so incredibly sophisticated that I often find it difficult to describe in plain English. The English language and most other colonial languages have very little lexical room to communicate and accommodate the peaceful coexistence of the simplicities and complexities that are interwoven in this term. However, there are a few words that help to canvas a few key elements of it. In English, I would say that Ubuntu is well represented by these 6 words: humanity, dignification, equity, intersectionality, and unconditional love. Like the words above, Ubuntu is a colorful term that is as intricate and as textured as the hand-beaded collar necklaces of the Maasai. It has evolutionary waves similar to the choreography of the Algerian women of the Ouled Nail. It has the all-embracing warmth of the Basotho blanket. And finally, it has the certainty of the immense landing of Zulu maidens' feet as they dance to the rhythm of banging African drums. I believe that Africans have always known how important it is to recognize other human beings' humanity and value. Subsequently, to exercise the highest mannerisms in dignifying all living creatures regardless of their superficial differences, identities, needs, sex, gender, and sexual orientations. This includes our ecology and environment too. Unfortunately, the brutality of past traumas have caused internalized pain, which often project amongst ourselves. Nevertheless, it remains our responsibility alone to confront these atrocities, as well as to confront the residue that we continue to experience even to this day. As I close this morning, I want to say the Commission, our honorable dignitaries today, and all our distinguished guests are here in the spirit of Ubuntu, for us to walk hand in hand as we rewrite our narrative from one of linguistic deprivation and violence to one of linguistic inclusivity and prosperity and liberation through education.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Uh, don't forget that we are also live on YouTube, Africa Civic Education Foundation. We are live there. So you can also tune in and put your volume down while you are watching this side, you are watching on the other side, you know.
So in a way, just acknowledging all the viewers that are joining us on YouTube to say thank you so much for joining. Make sure that as you're watching, share the link on your social media platform. This is to those who are watching us on YouTube to make sure that they join in on the ASAP YouTube channel. So round of applause again, once again, for our speaker on stage. Very poetic, very factual, very well researched. Thank you so much for that. Actually, it reminded me, I was telling you backstage that as I'm listening, this reminds me. So I work on radio, and yesterday we had this topic. It was based on some stats that are coming up to show that in the country, in South Africa, the number of marriages is going down. And this has been tracked over the years. And it's showing that less and less people are interested, are becoming less interested, or more and more people are becoming less interested in the institution of marriage. So we're asking to say, what do you think is going on? You know, what do you think is influencing this? And I can tell you this, a lot of angry men called in on the show, and they were saying, number one, these women are uncontrollable, you know, and I thought, okay, that's interesting.
Me, I'm controllable.
These women are uncontrollable. That's the first thing we were getting. The women that were coming through and calling, they were saying, our narigwele. Our narigwele. Like literally, so that was a very, you know, interesting, just something to notice in terms of the pulse of society, what people are saying in terms of that. But we are continuing with the event this side, and as we continue.
Before we call the next speaker, we also just want to emphasize on the issue of time. I didn't want to come because I know the advocate can address the court the whole day. They are used to that. But I didn't want to come in. But with the other speakers that are coming, we have time allocation on the program. Please, let's adhere to that. And do you know that you'll say police people, they are not working until you have situation in your house. That's when you'll know that they are busy, these people.
Yeah, no.
You know that.
I believe you.
Can
I
you call the
believe you.
next speaker?
No, definitely. Next up on stage, we are going to be getting reflections of gender-based violence from a perspective of law. And I'd like us to welcome to the stage Colonel Maja from the South African Police Service. A round of applause, please, as the Colonel makes the way to the stage. Thank you so much. Keep it going.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. Then I think to myself, what a wonderful world. What a wonderful world. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wee. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. What a wonderful
Wow, wow. Thank you very much, our program directors. As it is mentioned, I'm Colonel Maja. I'm coming from the provincial office
that prevention is better than cure. Let me take this opportunity to greet everyone in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, but most significantly recognize our MEC for Department of Social Development, Ms. Florence Vazelani, and the councillors amongst us, and also to really appreciate the invitation that I received from Dr. George Beta, that they have honored us, and as the SAPS, I think it is very relevant for us to be here as you are talking GBV, South African Police Service as the custodian of GBV, and with you in partnership, I'm referring to everyone in the hall to say we cannot do it alone, even though all the powers is vested on us to fight crime. So in the South African Police Service, I'm here on behalf of our Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Thembi Hadebe, who could not make it today due to some other cause, but it means that the work cannot stop. So MEC, I just want to indicate that on our monthly basis, we look at the statistics of crime. We take seat and look into the performance of our province, and we look at the angle of the crime, where is it moving to. I want to indicate that it has indicated on the analysis of our crime that the so-called contact crime is constantly giving us a problem because it is going up and up and up. Contact crime, we are looking at crime like assault. We are categorizing them as common and as the intention to cause grievous bodily harm. Common assault, when you slap somebody, when you just kick somebody. For that, it is a complete crime with all elements, and you can be convicted. And grievous bodily harm is whereby we have just beaten this person to an extent that he can even be hospitalized, or even the instrument that you use, it is the indication that you have the intention to really cause a serious bodily harm to the person. Then we are getting a very, very high number of those cases. But most alarming, MEC, is the level of rape, sexual assault. That is getting out of hand. As we sit with our management, looking at this escalating crime, we always said now the community must tell us what is going on. We look at where these crimes has happened. Most of the cases of rape, most of the cases of assault are happening behind the closed doors. The perpetrators are mostly the people who are expected to be given the protection. The perpetrators are the people that you trust. The perpetrators are mostly the people that you know. Very, very, very seldom, or if it's not 99%, can a person just come from where he's coming from and give you a clap. It should be somebody you know. Now that there is a misunderstanding between the two, then there is a fight. So the question is, are we raising a violence assault? Because people cannot talk and finish talking without ending up in violence. There behind the closed doors, we even pick up murders from the bedrooms. We even pick up people to the intensive care coming from the bedroom. You find that the husband and the wife have the misunderstanding. They could not agree on certain issues. Then it ends up in violence. She have just spoken there. No, these ladies, they don't listen to us. No, we are sick and tired. Immediately when you open your mouth, you are ready with the answer or the response. And now it's just start to cause argument. And where are the police by that time? We cannot be in the bedroom to patrol. There is a blue light outside, but things are happening in the bedroom. I just want to make it very clear. We are patrolling, we are putting on the blue light, yes. The blue light cannot even penetrate through your curtains to show that the police is passing by. Because even if it can happen to just pass, you are busy fighting, you cannot even see it. So that is the problem with the contact crime, and that is what we are experiencing. Now we are saying, looking into the what could be the actual cause. We actually say the contributing factors, because there's nothing that can make a person to beat another person except if just something that can influence the situation, because we believe on hashtag no excuse. Everyone have a choice. Factors like patriarchy, she has spoken about it. Men, that's masculinity of men, that we can deal with it. Having those big muscles, training and doing all that, it cannot be a reason why you feel like punching every person you come across. The issue of seeing women as staying in the kitchen, it is spoken for very many years. At this stage, it's like now we are doing the talk show for the sake of passing the period. The impact of the talk show does not give a good result, because immediately some of you seated here, they have sent the location to say, I'm in Bolivia, I'm even sitting next to the MEC or behind the MEC, because I want to prove to somebody that I'm where I said I'm going to. Otherwise, it's going to be a fight. Why can't we just tell a person and that person believe me? Just full stop, without any proving a point where I'm seated. Why can't I just indicate that I have spent a day at work, we have the meeting, and the meeting extended up to 6 o'clock. Now every 30 minutes I must show put it on the speaker to say, I'm still in a meeting. Because when I get home, it's going to be a fight. Somebody is sitting there now taking only the watch. So it can't be. People are talking, but the talk does not result in good result. Instead, it's getting worse. Yeah, I know you are coming from that meeting. Where they are now is the meeting that is putting the wrong idea onto the people instead of improving our lifestyle. So as the police, we are experiencing a very traumatic situation. We are picking up children from the pool of blood. You must hear it when the news is starting. They will say the report that is coming is not good for sensitive ears. Then you know there is a murder, there is an assault. You already know. And it is every news it is coming, that warning. Now the message that is coming is not good for sensitive ears. If you know you are a sensitive person, just stay away for a minute. Now MEC this week, it was also on the radio here in Mountain. A stepfather followed a child going to school. Just because last night, he didn't have an agreement with the man. They had a fight. Now why must it escalate to the children? Helpless boy. Even if we have disagreement, why should it end up on the fight? We still have a choice. We have social development. They always say, why don't you consult? Most of us here we are having medical aid. Even the private, even the government hospitals, the clinics, they have social workers. Things are too much on you. Why don't you go and sit down and talk and diffuse all those things that are inside you? So we are saying MEC in our province. Only yesterday, we were giving the picture of the crime in the country. Unfortunately, Limpopo have police stations that is reflecting on the national statistics. On the top 35 stations, we have Toyando and Polokwane. These two stations, they are just exchanging position on the top 30 of the national crime contributing stations. So as much as we think we are rural, we are living this life whereby we still have some caution, we still have chiefs that are controlling things. But so far things are getting out of hand. Crime is very high. And it is very worrying factor to our provincial commissioner, even to the national commissioner, to say Limpopo can't be. Because why? We know our especially Toyando. Toyando, it is just reducing, but because it has a very big contributing numbers. Now they are fighting just to reduce the number, but it is still reflecting on the national level. The question is, are those figures that is there reported in Toyando the true figures? The feeling is those are the only reported. There are those that are not reported. And even on other provinces, when coming to rape cases, it has been proven. Some cases are reported when a person is already an adult. They've been raped at a very early stage. So what does that mean? This crime we could have picked up at a very early stage. Now it is already an adult. Even the perpetrator is dead or is not even known. You cannot even identify because it's too late. You can say we were playing and that boy was staying in that house, and then we can trace who could be that possible boy. But what I want to, the picture that I want to paint in this is that our violent crime, our rape cases are very alarming to an extent that we really are standing up to say, let us look into the actions, or let us look into the strategic approach that we can take. There are a lot of policies in place. There are a lot of, even the budget are allocated to address GBV. But still, we are having an alarming cases, which as the SAPS we are saying, where did we go wrong? Our community, are we dead animals, or are we dead ugly that we cannot control ourselves? So we are looking at the issue of the cultural stereotypes. We always talk to our Mama Hosh. We have partnership, we have what we call traditional policy. That is partnership with Mahosi because we're thinking if we start, because the province is dominantly ruled by Mahoshi. So we have traditional crime prevention, which is one of the strategies. When we talk to Mahoshi, yes, there was a resistance because they're thinking we are taking away the culture. But we are saying, does the culture not just stepping into the toes of the victims, maybe contributing, or into the rise of the victim? Because some of the issues is the taboo to talk about. But the more we talk about, one will notice that this is not a taboo, it's actually the cause of the problem. That is why we are now saying, let us talk. Our Mahoshi must know we don't want to destroy our culture, we value our culture. But what can we do? What can we contribute when we are calling the Mahota, when we are calling our meetings? How do we address? They were talking of a lot of oppression on women, but we have realized even men are victims of gender-based violence. We have seen that in one of our projects called Talent Project. MEC, we call meetings, we do awareness campaign. When we check on the statistics, attendance list, it's only women. Now we realize we are missing one target, which are men, on the Talent Project. We are going straight into the tavern. The aim is not to check the compliance. The aim is to reach our target. Because we are here empowering women. When they finish it, they go back to the same situation. We never talk to the other side of the hand. So when we get there on the tavern, on their own comfort zones, these men, they tell a lot of stories, very touching stories. They will mention how much they are touched. But the question is, how do we make them to open up? Let me see, those are the things that we need to put in as a strategy to say, how do we make them to talk so that they don't end up in violence? Because naturally they are strong, they will kill us. But how do we address these issues before they happen? So this is the message from the SAPS to say, let's work together, let's come up with those strategies. Men, you are not left behind. Let's take the boy child hand and make them a better life. We cannot fear our men, we love them so much. But unfortunately they are seen as the monsters. So let us rectify. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, you know, it's very intimidating to call the officer of the law and say, please write back. I don't want to be arrested. Me. I'm like, I'm not going. Before you can go, I'm
You
not
should
going.
have seen us back there trembling, trying to get her attention today. But thank you so very much. Important points raised, and I can assure you that, you know, from all the points that you are raising, Colonel, that there are organizations that are very strategic in how they can bring the solutions to the table. Like the next person that is coming to speak on stage, will be talking about some of the strategic approach that their organization has on GBV mitigation. And you know what? I think for the sake of the continuity of your career, let me allow and give you the chance to shine and introduce the next speaker. You know, it could be a career enhancing move.
I,
You know what I mean? So let
I-
me let you have your moment.
I won't have any comment because I want on Monday to go back to my office.
You could
so
get a
I'm not
promotion.
gonna say anything. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Services Sector Strategic Approach to GBVF mitigation by our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Sibusiso Dladla.
Chonga, chonga, chonga ya kauleza. Yo mama kauleza. Chonga, chonga, chonga ya kauleza. Yo mama kauleza. Chonga, 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 chonga ya kauleza. Yo, chica. Kauleza mama, kauleza, kauleza. Yo mama kauleza, kauleza, kauleza. Yo chonga, 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 chonga ya kauleza. Yo chonga, 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 chonga ya kauleza. Ilima. Chonga, 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 chonga ya kauleza. Yo mam, chonga, 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 chonga ya kauleza. Yo mama, kauleza.
Good afternoon. Just barely good afternoon. Program Director, thank you for that introduction. Michael says I have 15 minutes, but I actually want to see if he's brave enough to come stage. For the sake of your employment. Before I start, let me please acknowledge our distinguished guests. The Honorable MEC for Social Development, Honorable Florence Karaziani, and Institutional Office, Executive Mayor and Office, our advocate for the Commission for Gender Equality, Office, from college representatives, chairperson of Peace, I see also the chairperson of Twitter as well, and all of the services center, the leaders from student representative councils, labor organizations, our distinguished guest partners, and everyone who's present today, and my presentation today, or rather my speech today, is to speak towards our contribution to the fight against violence and femicide, which is part of a program that the organization has started in Polokwane. It's a program that is started in October over a number of years, and we will roll out to other communities. This is the second phase of 4 currently activating to other areas. The first topic of discussion is beyond awareness, but yet we do not know that too many are trapped in cycles of violence and are unable to reach their potential. We have young women who are forced to abandon their studies due to abusive relationships. We have survivors of GBV who struggle to remain employed because of trauma. We have institutions that are meant to protect, but they become places of silence rather than justice. This is why, under the leadership of Mr. De Vries and our board, we have made GBV mitigation as a strategic priority. And as a skills development institution, we cannot afford to turn a blind eye to this crisis. Ignoring it is not neutralizing it. It is just simply complicity. Now, moving on to our strategic approach to GBV mitigation. Our commitment to addressing this scourge is clear, and our approach is very strategic. Intervention through education. We are embedding GBV awareness training into our skills development initiatives, ensuring that educators, students, and institutions become safe spaces. We're also integrating the GBV response into skills development. Training is more than just acquiring a qualification. It's actually about equipping an individual with the knowledge, the tools to protect themselves and to protect others. We're collaborating with the law enforcement and advocacy group. Survivors deserve justice and perpetrators must be held accountable. We need stronger collaboration between the justice system and skills development initiatives to help survivors rebuild their futures while ensuring that GBV offenders face real consequences. It would be misopportune for me not to commend Dr. George Peter and the leadership of Capricorn for their commitment to this cause. This kind of cross-sector collaboration is exactly what we need to create real and sustainable impact. Our commitment to action is not just rhetoric. This launch is not just an event, but it is a beginning of a long-term intervention. We must move beyond conversations, colleagues. Too many initiatives begin with powerful words, but end up with no real action. And we refuse to be part of that cycle of empty promises and empty commitments. We will measure our success not by the words we say today, but by the impact we create for tomorrow and beyond. The learners who return to school because now they feel safe, the women who find financial independence because they are given opportunities beyond the barriers that they are faced with, the communities that transform and become places of safety instead of places of fear. So let us today mark the beginning of real change through our conversation and through our action. Let us build a South Africa, but let us build a South Africa through our communities. Every learner who pursues education must pursue education without fear. Every worker who thrives in their work of employment must do so without harassment. And every individual who lives in our beautiful communities and country must do so and be free from violence and free from harassment and free from fear. Together, as a commitment from the services sector, that through education, policy, active policy changing, and enforcement, we will ensure that GBV is not just spoken about, but is eradicated. As I mentioned earlier, this is event number 2 of 4 of more to come. So this conversation may it long live and may it long stay. And I hope the messages that are coming from all the speakers in our program today will filter through to our hearts, and we will be able to take them outside of this event as a point of reflection. I will stop here and make sure that Michael's job is secure. And thank everyone for giving me the opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. CEO.
I told you I have your back.
No,
I
even
told
if it
you.
went on and on and on, and I was not going to say anything.
I was going to stand by you also,
Thank you.
because I'm here for you progressing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for us to be in this venue today, the idea has to start somewhere. It had to start with a vision and a dream that somebody had. There is a vision bearer behind all of us being in this room. The different stakeholders, the different strategic partners, the different organizations, the learners, the lecturers, the varsities, the colleges. There is one person who bore the seed of this dream. And this is the address that we are going to next. This is the idea called the vision bearer, the one that has infected all of us with this fervor and passion to go forward and be agents of change. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like us to welcome to the stage the founder and CEO of ACEF, Africa Civic Education Foundation, Dr. George Peta, with a round of applause, please, as he comes to the front, as the vision bearer of all of this. Keep it going as he makes his way to the stage. Dr. George Peta.
I wanna be there when the people start turning around, when the triumph over poverty. I wanna be there when the people win the battles against AIDS. I wanna lend a hand. I wanna be there for the alcoholic. I wanna be there for the drug addict. I wanna be there for the victims of violence and abuse. I wanna lend a hand. Send me to Mamina. To Mamina is his way. To Mamina is Oya. Ita. To Mamina. To Mamina is his way. To Mamina is Oya. Ita. To Mamina. Never to Mamina is his way. To Mamina is Oya. Ita. Yes, it is Melanie. Yama Passini. Yellow Shady. Oh, no, no. Everybody. Yes, it is Melanie. Yama Passini. Yellow Shady. Chiga. Chiga. To Mamina, yes, he's ready, so young. I'm this one. To Mamina, to Mamina, to Mamina, yes, he's ready, so young. He's a one more time. To Mamina, to Mamina, to Mamina, yes, he's ready, to Mamina, he's so young. For the last time, everybody. To Mamina, to Mamina, to Mamina. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody say. One, two, three, four. It's on the person. It's on the morning. It's on the person. What's up? Freedom is coming to jump. Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. What's up? Get ready, mama, prepare for your freedom. Let's go. It's on the person. It's on the morning. It's on the person. It's on the morning. It's on the... Let's go. Sapa, sapa, lisi, tasimnyama. Nasi Yama Wasafa Ya 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 le Yo Si elele mama elele That's it, everybody say Oh Si elele Shoo Si elele mama Oh siyani nasi chap siyani Di khomo di fedile Ma fedile libo papa Le libo papa Ma tshware tswe di pasa Oh sitimela Sitimela Si batseri Ba feletsi Johane Bashimane basitan Bashimane basitana Voices say yo 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 Is on the person Si elele elele yo Su Si elele
Thank you so very much. Thank you very much, program directors. Every time I see people and my people gathered like this in a mood and a unity of purpose, I'm immediately always reminded in my spirit that I am an African. I get to be reminded that I am a South African. I'm standing on the soil of a country that is coming a long way in the fight for freedom. But we have come to a point where that fight gets to be contradicted by acts of humanity. We've got to remember, we are Africans. Allow me to take this opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to offer my humble greetings and acknowledgements to our beloved MEC, Mama Razilane. Thank you so much for remaining closer to your people. To the chairperson of the services SETA and the whole accounting authority of the SETA, the chairperson of Chieta, and Advocate Tando, the Commissioner for the Commission for Gender Equality. I have seen the principal of Ngangala Tibet College, Mr. Maimela. Thank you so much for being here. Mayor Maleka, the deputy principal of Capricorn Tibet, and the team, Mr. Sbusizo Dladla, and your management and staff. Colleagues, let me observe protocol that is holding us today, and thank you so very much. I'm coming to you, colleagues, to say thank you so much for supporting this mission, because indeed the treatment of women and children today is taking a very wrong direction. The treatment of women and children is taking a very wrong direction. And as a result, not only are the abused suffering the loss of their own human dignity, but also those who are abusing others, they are losing their own integrity and dignity. Because the only way, Mama MEC, for a person to retain their dignity and integrity is by offering dignity to other people. So by abusing others, we win nothing, but we lose our own integrity and our dignity. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to say and start here. Mr. Tekio, thing is not pressing. Allow me to really start here and say to this sitting today, we have gathered here because of this very monster that is attacking our people, the scourge of gender-based violence and femicide. And allow me to say, the issue that we are talking about here, the issue of GBV, is not a narrative. It's reality. We're not talking about a narrative, we're talking about a reality. Colleagues, I'm talking about the reality here, and I have to say thank you to our students as well for being here this morning. I love you guys. Thank you so much. We are talking about the problem, colleagues, which according to research, statistics are so staggering, they are so frightening. The United Nations is reporting that 140 women and girls have been killed in the year 2023. 140 women a day. 140 women and girls a day. It goes further to say globally, an estimated 736 million women have been subjected to physical and sexual violence in that very cycle of the report. And it further says 16% of young women aged between 15 and 24 have experienced violence in that very reporting cycle of September 2022 and September 2023. Talk about South Africa for a moment. And I'm sharing this information to say, but why have we chosen to take this route of trying to restore order and social stability in our country and our world? Colleagues, the latest report by the South African Police Service SAPS of the quarter October to December 2024, it says 14,973 sexual offenses were registered in that reporting cycle. Those figures, they include 11,803 rape cases, and the figures goes as you see them. So we are dealing with a reality and not a narrative. We're not dealing with a theory. And this is a situation that informs our choices and the actions that we are undertaking to take. Mama MEC, we have a problem because if a woman has to, every time and every moment they're walking in the street, have to look behind their back to see who is following them, it means we have a problem. If a woman goes to a place of hope on a Sunday, hoping to go there for spiritual revival, but comes back having been destroyed by somebody who was supposed to pray with and pray for them, it means we have a problem. If you look into the life of women and the experiences that equate itself into a life of slavery in the place that is supposed to be called a home, it means we have a problem. If you look into the character of some men, that results in young children becoming mothers in their childhood, it means we have a problem. We're not dealing with a theory, not a narrative. Colleagues, if a child could be walking to school in the morning only for a stepfather to come and kill that innocent child, it means we have a problem. If you look into cases of a case like a 3-year-old child that has been abused by somebody, and I'm forced to say a foreign national, it means we have a problem. So if you look into all these matters of reality, colleagues, you would then understand and accept and agree with me to say we're not dealing with a theory, we are dealing with a problem. And it is that problem which says something has to be done. We have heard, and we know by now, that this problem manifests in different ways, from physical abuse, which manifests through such cases as assault, sexual assault, and others, but we're dealing with a problem that manifests through sexual harassment in the workplace and other areas, harassment which comes through violence and aggression and disrespect of women and children, but also matters of issues of femicide. We have a problem. We are dealing with a problem that manifests, for example, through emotional and psychological abuse against women in various contexts of life, and we're dealing with a problem that manifests through such forms as materialistic abuse. What is materialistic abuse? Colleagues, we are having a serious problem, and let me take one example. Somebody has told a lie that a woman is not supposed to work. A woman is not supposed to be involved and engaged in matters of socio-economic, especially economic development. Somebody has told a lie that a woman has to sit at home and not even go to school, because if she goes to school, tomorrow she would want to go to work. Somebody told that lie. But we are talking to students also today here, and that is where part of the problem is, because we have students that go to school even at tertiary levels, only to meet a man with a deep pocket and a luxury car, and that is a man who has the audacity to choose to contradict matters of divinity and say, I can bless you. I have to start somewhere. Colleagues, we have to agree that is a serious contradiction of matters of divinity. Because I have to say, if we have to talk about a blesser, we have to begin, advocate, start to talk about a blessing and say, what is a blessing? And my take is a blessing does never and never comes with trade-offs. It can never be a blessing if you go to say, give me this and then I'll give you this. I give you this, you give me that. Immediately it becomes a matter of give me this, I give you that. It's not a blessing. You have to call it by name. It's a sugar-coated abuse. Therefore, if the name blessing has not changed its meaning in the dictionary, then the safety of our young women and the dignity of men of this world is in the understanding that a blessing does not manifest through trade-offs, but is based on a pure grace. Those are men that tell our young women and girls they are influencing them into a cause for them to sell their future and sell it today. Because, and I have to say to you, my fellow students, we need not fall into that trap of somebody coming to say, I give you this, you give me that, in the name of a blessing. I have to tell you this. If we have to talk about what is the relationship between what is happening and what is supposed to be happening, I have to tell you that the only way to touch your future is by remaining purposeful and remaining a visionary person who says, regardless of my socioeconomic conditions, I say no to somebody who tells a lie in the name of a blessing. We have to say no to that. And I know that I'm saying this thing while somebody has told a lie and said, every person has got the right to choose what they want to do with their bodies and so on. Somebody told that lie, but I have to tell you that if somebody says you've got the right to do anything with your body, I have to tell you and say, any right that contradicts the dignity is not a right. And any right, therefore, which is not right, is not a right. A right which is not right cannot be a right. So we cannot continue with this fabricated lie with people coming to tell our daughters that you've got the right to do anything with your body. It can never continue while we are watching. Colleagues, this is a program which is located within a very clear policy context, from the United Nations to the Constitution of South Africa, to the National Development Plan, to the National Strategic Plan on Gender-Based Violence. The policy is very clear that something has to be done. Allow me not to delve into that content. But I have to raise the question, why do we need this program for the post-school education and training sector, including the TVET college context? Why do we need this program? Colleagues, allow me to say, we are talking about and dealing with a universal problem here, which affects everyone. And as a matter of fact, we know that universities and colleges and community colleges and universities of technology, they are hosting so many lives, so many young people. But I have to say, that setting is a very important microcosm of society. The person who's called a student during the day is going home to meet a situation in the night. And the young girl and the young boy who's at home as a child, they go to school probably to meet a situation tomorrow when they go to school. So the only way, therefore, to cultivate safety and peace of mind and dignity of our people is to make sure that we integrate the social side of things into our scope of education, training, and development. We need learning environments that are free of abuse, environments that are safety. We need to, at all cases, with the power that we may have, seek to eliminate sexual harassment in this very sector. We're sitting with a situation where there have been cases, and I'm afraid they may be continuing. Somebody will say, as an intern or as a student, you do this and then you can move forward. Unless you do this, you cannot move forward. We have to find a way of dealing with this, but then what am I talking about, colleagues? I'm talking about what I can call an inclusive education. While the peace sector, Mr. Dladla, continues with technical, professional, and occupational training, we have to make sure that we advance inclusivity of our education so that this social dimension of education gets integrated into the system. I have to say this. Unless we recognize GBVF as a problem and the underlying factors to it, and also ensure that we accelerate inclusive education, then, Mr. Dladla, even our best educational resources will end up producing technical beings but not human beings. Unless we advance the course of inclusive education in this context, we will end up producing graduates that are competent but not compassionate. And as a sector, then we're going to continue feeding society and feeding the employment sector with people who are only going into that space, those spaces to go and become abusers and advancers of sexual harassment. We got to make sure, therefore, and I appreciate the commitment of the CETA to say, together, we can advance the cause of inclusive education. The situation in the country, Mr. De Vries, is that there's lack of preventative, especially preventative measures to gender-based violence and causes and actions of femicide. Hence, this program that we have conceptualized, designed, and developed, and we are offering as Africa Civic Education Foundation. This is how we are offering this program, Madam MEC. We are developing induction packages for students, for learners, and even for employees, a content which seeks to address this problem. We are offering interactive educational workshops. We are customizing educational campaigns, and especially also aligned with your open days, whatever and whichever it could be. We are providing educational material. Some of you seated there, you do have some of the materials that we are using to administer and implement these educational programs. Colleagues, we are at a stage where this booklet has been, and other material, it has been written in English, but we have come to a point of saying we need to make sure that our educational course is accessible to many people. For that reason, we are in a process of translating this material into other 6 languages. Here at home, we are translating this material into Chivenda and Xitsonga, and on the Nguni side, we are translating this material into Ndebele, Zulu, and Xhosa, and English will be the 7th language. In about 3 to 4 weeks, we are going to be having this material. I think we would call some of our stakeholders to come and observe that milestone as we begin to say, now education is getting accessible even to people who cannot read and write or understand English. quickly allow me to articulate and say what is the content of this educational program, this civic education that we are offering. Number one, this is a module-based training or educational course. Our civic education program is structured into modules, and number one module, we are talking about the reality of abuse. What are we saying here, Mr. Dada? We are saying that, we have come to a point where the prevalence of GBVF colleagues, it has come to be so much, busy that I think, and I suspect, it could even get to a point where people are no longer conscious. When you talk about GBV, MEC, somebody could be like, no, it's another piece of news, and then they move forward. We are getting to a point where people might end up getting used to this problem. We are saying that we need to start there and say, let us raise awareness and consciousness of the people to say we are dealing with a reality and this is how it manifests. But then you also need to make sure that whenever you are in trouble with GBV situations or whenever you are observing an experience or witnessing such, you need not keep quiet because silence is a silent killer. You have to speak out. Module number 2, Ubuntu. We are seeking to cultivate Ubuntu. We are seeking to cultivate humane mentalities towards women and children, but also cultivate morality and moral values into our people, but also promote the understanding of women's and children's rights as human rights. What am I talking about mentalities? Colleagues, if somebody would choose to abuse women and children like it's happening nowadays, that can only be after somebody has suffered a shift of mentality. And that is where, when a man has lost that stability of mentality that has to guide him in terms of how to view women, and this is what is going to happen. A man will see a woman coming, and before they see a human being, they see the physique of that woman. That is the shift in mentality. When a man has lost it, when they see a woman coming, they see the physique before they see a human being coming. When a woman is approaching, that man will see gender before they see a soul to be appreciated. And in the end, that man will see an object to be used and abused, as opposed of seeing a human to be appreciated and protected. When I wrote the book titled Women's Rights Are Human Rights, it was after the realization that, and I've had many men saying this, Memaleka, that women are demanding so much. They are saying women are demanding so much of a special treatment. And I had to sit and say, but what is my take on this? And my take was, women are not demanding anything special. Girls and children are not demanding anything special. What they are demanding is the enjoyment of the same human rights as men do enjoy. Because if a man has got the right to be, then women must have the right to be. If a man has got the right to choose who to associate with, then a woman has got the right to choose who to associate with and who not to associate with. Human rights, women's rights are human rights, and children's rights can only be human rights. The next module is about purposeful human coexistence with one another, and especially in the context of intimate relationships. Somebody who said to men that marrying a woman means buying a property to come and control has told a lie, and a very bad lie. Because we are living in a situation where many men advocate, they are still stuck in that mentality of thinking that to marry a woman means buying a property to come and control, as opposed to marrying a partner to collaborate with. Something has to change. Psychosocial health and mental health. This means if you are to be a complete person, you need the following. You need a spiritual intelligence, you need a spiritual health, which is about having principles to guide your life and how to live with others. You need emotional health, which is about consciousness to consider how your actions and choices are to affect the next person. You need a social health and intelligence, which says, how am I supposed to socialize with other people? And you need a peace of mind, and that is the question of mental health. We are running through this program and this module to say psychosocial health is key to the order that we need as society. Alcohol and substance abuse. We know that GBV cannot be separated from alcohol and substance abuse and misuse. But let me quickly just say to our young people, my fellow students, anyone who is selling and offering drugs and alcohol around, they are not offering you drugs. They are offering you self-destruction. If we have to locate this thing into the business context, I can only say, MEC, the only thing that you buy with your money when you go to the shop, you are not buying the product, but you are buying the value and the effect and the impact that comes with the product. Therefore, if you run to get alcohol and substances, you are not running for alcohol and substances, but you are running for the effect that is going to come with your access into those things. Therefore, anyone who's offering these things around, they are not offering drugs, but they are offering self-life distractions. The last module is about human trafficking. MEC, we are so grateful to be observing incidences where law enforcement keeps intercepting, schemes of human trafficking. But we have come to a very serious problem as a nation where you even observe and hear allegations of human trafficking and kidnapping even being orchestrated by somebody who is supposed to be called a relative, if not a parent, to a child. That is very bad. So these are modules, colleagues, that we are running as a part of this anti-GBVF civic education program. I would not go through our process of quality assurance, but I can assure you that our program is going through a very serious process of quality assurance to make sure that we offer content that stands the test of integrity, but also effect of impact. So on that note, colleagues, I would like to say thank you so much. That is the brief, the long and short of the modality of our GBVF mitigation civic education program. But the question, MEC, is where from here? But also the question is, where are we going to be in the next so many years? And I can only say, when one of our own, in the name of Ndade Shepherd Mdladlana at the time, said, the only way to know what the future holds for you is to design it. Equally, what he meant was that the change that we aspire today is in the commitments and actions that we take today as society. Unless we do something today, we will always be looking back and saying and asking the question, what should we have done? I'm promising you, colleagues, that every time these things happen, a question that comes to mind is, what should we have done? At least to prevent that. What could we have done? And I'm appealing that let's find a way to collaborate, to advance this cause with a purpose to prevent this thing from manifesting against the people and the peace of our people. On that note, allow me to say thank you so much, Mama MEC, and give our regards to Dr. Popera Matuba, our Premier, and we say thank you for remaining closer to your people. To the Services SETA, Accounting Authority, and the team, Mr. Dladla, this is one thing I know. I know that a doctor can always forget his patients after he would have treated them. But What I know is a patient will never forget their doctor. With those words, I can tell you that the contribution that you have made into this province, Limpopo, and the contribution that you continue to make in other provinces will never be forgotten in the eyes, the soul, and the spirit of the people that you are helping. To our students, we wish to say to you, if we are going to train 10,000 people, students, that should mean that we have offered and released 10,000 individuals into society, which are 10,000 people that you can count on. So if we're going to train 10,000 people, it means that we've got 10,000 people that you can trust with the life of elderly people, the life of women, and the life of children. We say to you, students, be ready, collaborate with us, cooperate with us, because we don't want to look back and say, you missed an opportunity. This is for your cause as you become adults, as you become professionals. So be ready to take this journey with us and make sure that we build the society that this world deserves together. On this note, colleagues, allow me to say thank you so much, and may God bless and protect, but especially God restore this very treasure which is running away. If we are not running away from it, we say that God restores the order of Ubuntu into the lives of his people. Thank you so very much, South Africa.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you so much. You know the doctors, they always have this thing of saying, thank you, allow me again, thank you, again, thank you. So I'm here at the student, Mpo, my co-host, and I'm looking at a very beautiful young student. I just want to know, how are you feeling about the program?
I'm happy about it because it's gonna be very helpful to us students. And
Okay, are you winning there?
It seems, let me try this one.
You've got 2 mics with you.
Yeah, let me try
And
this one.
we'll sort it
How do
out.
you feel, sir?
My apologies. Personally, more educated and more aware about the GBV.
Can we get a bit of projection in the voices? These are the future leaders. They can speak up, Mus. Huh? Did you have a late night?
Yeah, sort of.
I understand, but just give it a bit of volume so that we can hear you.
Okay, no, sorry about that. I'm feeling more educated and enlightened about the gender-based violence, and more aware of the program, and as well as the effects of
Thank you.
So, Huli, the
Yes.
taste is in the pudding, and we've had the good doctors here, Dr. Peta talking about the program, letting us know what they are doing, and to hear from the students, that's very important. So, also important is we saw the involvement of the services CETA in the program and how they went and looked at their strategy and how the program fits in their strategy. And I suppose this is also a call that it was made here on stage by the doctor to say that as much as you are here, if you are not yet involved, as you are sitting there, you know the strategy of your organization. You know when it comes to gender-based violence, what your plans are. Or perhaps there's a gap. There aren't really plans, but you know that you should be actively doing something and taking part in the program. This is where you actually can contact Dr. Peta and ASIF and say, you know what, we see the impact, we see the work, we saw the student, we saw Capricorn TVET, we want to get involved. Because there are other plans for the future, more campuses to impact, more varsities to impact, more institutions of higher learning to impact. And if you are an organization thinking that we want to get involved, there's more than enough for you to join in. The pie is big enough for all of us to step in and make a difference.
Yeah, and just because it's one of those that were just starting,
Yeah.
the students are still also nervous about it. They're
can
still
tell.
wondering, but they'll get there.
It's all right. So we are moving on. Let's just hear from the Capricorn TVET College. Appreciation from Connie Malika, who's the Deputy President for the Capricorn TVET College. A round of applause, please, as she makes this way to the front.
Ingabupi, Western Assam. Everybody say, oh yeah. Africa, oh, so and me, oh. The soul is so beautiful. Let's continue. 1, 2, 3. What shall we do? Stand your way.
Thank you, Program Director. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to acknowledge the following: our MEC for Social Development, Honorable Florence Razilani, and your entourage, the Executive Mayor of Capricorn, Honorable Mamidou Pitefu in absentia, Advocate Tembi Khadebe from Commission of Gender Equality, the founder and the CEO of ASEF, Dr. Peta, our college principal in absentia, Mr. Lekau Mamabulo, the chairperson of the Services SITA Board, Stephen De Vries, CEO of the Services SITA, Sibusiso Tata, representatives and the CEOs of all SITAs present here today, the representatives from our regional office, Ms. Muloisi and her colleagues, the principal from Kangala TVET College, Mr. Maimela, our esteemed guests, partners, students' leadership, our staff members, and our students, all protocol observed. On behalf of Capricorn TVET College management and staff, allow me to extend our sincerest appreciation to each one of you for joining us today for the launch of the comprehensive GBVF Mitigation Civic Education Project. This prevention initiative was made possible through the partnership with Services SITA, the College Capricorn, and Africa Civic Education Foundation. We appreciate the financial support that has been provided by Services SITA, which has enabled our students and staff members to be part of this vital training. Your investment in our institution's well-being is truly valued and recognized. We look forward to continuing our collaboration and exploring future opportunities to address this scourge of GBVF and promote social justice. To our esteemed guests that are here present, your presence here demonstrates our collective commitment to creating a safe, inclusive, and respectful environment for all our students and staff members. It is heartening to see such a strong show of support for this critical cause. At first, when this was planned, we were not sure whether it will be such a success. And standing here and looking at each one of you, that shows the commitment that came with this event. To our student leadership that is here, and student community, your energy and enthusiasm are the driving force behind our efforts to prevent the GBVF. Your participation in this initiative will play a vital role in shaping a culture of respect, empathy, inclusivity on our campuses. Therefore, we urge you to embrace this initiative and seize the opportunity. The training has already commenced in all the campuses, and we are encouraging you to go back to those campuses and encourage other students to take opportunity in being part of this training so that we can make an impact. To our esteemed guest, your presence, again, as I've indicated, it shows our collective commitment to creating a safe, inclusive, and respectful environment for all our students as well as the staff members. Now, to our partners and staff members, your dedication and expertise have been instrumental in bringing this initiative to life. You have worked tirelessly, and you have created a safe and supportive environment for all, including our students, and that is truly appreciated. Together, let's work towards a future where everyone can live free from fear, violence, as well as discrimination. To the project managers as well as the facilitators of ASEF that are currently facilitating this project, we highly appreciate the support and the knowledge that you are imparting to our students as well as the staff. The student support officers that are working closely with you together with the CGOs at the campus level, we thank you for sharing your knowledge and the experience with your students on a daily basis. Your contribution have enriched their understanding of this GBVF as well as its impact on our communities. In this morning, as we were with the minister in the holding room, the MEC in the holding room, she requested that we should not just see this as a one-day event and then it ends there. However, we should look for more future opportunities. Therefore, as I conclude, as we launch this initiative today, let us reaffirm our commitment to, number one, creating a culture of zero tolerance for GBVF, supporting survivors and providing resources for healing, educating ourselves and others about the root cause of this GBVF. We need to be able to understand where it emanates from and address it from that point. We need to promote healthy relationships, mutual respect, and inclusivity. Together, we can make a difference and create a brighter, safer future for all. I thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's give her another round of applause.
The fact that we went down to the students, it wasn't about catching you off. It wasn't, ne? It wasn't about catching you off, not at all. It was really trying to understand how you are finding the program, just how you're interacting with the program and the likes. But it's okay. I have my ways of making sure that we get to understand, your reception to the program. So we'd like to call a group of representatives to the stage. This is for measure of support from the Student Representative Council, the SRC, a representative there, a representative from SATU, a representative from NEHAU, and a representative from the PSA. We are all going to be on stage, and we'll have 5 minutes each for a message of support as, we get to understand. So please, if we can just have you come up on stage, maybe a song that just accompanies them as they come on stage.
Yeah, give them a song so that they vibe up. I know the student representative will have a song. Yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I would like to acknowledge the MEC, Executive Mayor, Service SETA representatives, estimated guests, and Capricorn TVET staff and students. I go by the name of Matumi Hemen Sebola. I'm the president of Capricorn TVET College. As the SRC president of Capricorn TVET College, I want to take this moment to acknowledge the importance of supporting one another, particularly in the face of gender-based violence, GBV in brackets. Our college is a conducive environment for all students. We are proud to partner with GBVF to make a vision a reality. To those who have been affected by GBV, gender-based violence, we want to ensure that we believe you, we support you, and we are committed to help you to access the resources that will help you to heal and move forward. If you or someone you know is experiencing gender-based violence, please know that there is help available. Our college has a range of support services, including counseling, academic support, and external organizations. Let us stand together against GBV. And please promote a culture of respect, empathy, and inclusivity. We support you. As students, we have a critical role to play in preventing gender-based violence. We must recognize signs, speak out against injustice, and support those who have been affected on GBVF. We must create a culture of respect and inclusivity. To our partners from ASEF, we thank you for tireless effort in combating GBF. Your resources and support have been valuable in our college community. Together, let us please to create GBV-free zone within our college, support survivors of gender-based violence, educate ourselves and others about GBV, promote healthy relationship and respect for all. As the Capricorn TVET SRC, we will heighten the advocacy of GBVF in our campuses. Thank you very much.
Amanda! Satu, thank you.
Amanda, as a woman, I like to sing a song because I'm a woman. Ya basadi gore basadi a re tie madi. Basadi tia. Basadi a ba go ka mo. A re opele re basadi. Basadi tia madi. Basadi. 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 Oh, basadi bo me. Tia mata. Basadi bo. Bo me tia mata. Basadi bo me. Tia mata. Basadi bo me. Tia mata. Thank you very much. Ke bona ka re basadi ba tshogile ka mo. Our learners, from the loon 5 minutes ago, they were saying, hey, you know what? These people are talking English throughout. Some of us, we don't understand. We must try to speak. I am Mwashem PR, representative of SATU, and I just want to correct something here. I'm sure it's because of typing error. SADTU is SADTU, which is South African Teachers Democratic Union. So, I represent SADTU. So, I'm very much thankful to Leshata ke gore nga ke kwale. Ape a teacher who was there is something wrong. So I'm saying, maybe you don't hear me. I'm saying thank you very much to be part of this event, to give a message of support as SADTU. All protocol observed. When I look at this, I'm looking at emotional and psychological abuse. This go a long way because as mothers, they become abusive to their children because they've been abused. That is why at the later stage, they even use language that is not acceptable, because some philosophers say you are what you think all times. You are what you think all time. So as mothers, let us break the silence of gender-based violence and femicide. Why am I saying this? Most of the time, when we try to motivate boy-child, we normally use destructive criticism, whereas we're supposed to use constructive. When we use constructive criticism is when we build one another. Most of us, when we are hurt or when we are abused as mothers, we normally say to our boy child, "What's about uswana le papa? Uswana le papa uskela." You know those words. So let us humbly talk to our boy child, appreciatively so, to show that we appreciate them. Let's say abuse, it omile from childhood. Aya toma bana shitibala tertiary. No, it omile from their upbringing. So I'm saying to mothers, are really hurt or really abused, let us seek for renyake tusho esale kapela, because psychologically and emotionally it affect abana ba rena and also their upbringing. Sesotho se re motho ke motho ka batho. A re go ba batho re lebelele our next door neighbors. Nanga no ba ke se abused ne, but let us look at our neighbors or at our friends or at our colleagues. There are some symptoms here o di bonang gore motho le ga sa bolele. Mosadi ga e tla mmerekong khwetsa be thilo mo a re ke thutile faster. You know those things. So re sa coffee out our problem ke mo ile gore e escalate. So let us help one another, women. Basadi a re thushane. Re ske ra segana, because ga re segana re fitla mo staging se e le gore gone jwale re palla le go boela morago. So as SADTU, we are saying together we can conquer this. But if we don't break this silence of gender-based violence and femicide, we cannot win this fight. So let us work together as different organizations, and this opportunity as SADTU, so that we are in this together. Amandla.
Amandla. Awethu. Amandla. Awethu. PSA, it's now your turn.
Thank you very much, program directors, Honorable MEC Leadership Florence Razilani, Honorable Councillor Mamidu Pitefu, and all other executive members of the Limpopo Legislature, and the management of all different colleges, students and
ground force workers, let me take this time and greet you all. I'm saying Amandla. As revolutionaries, we always want to send this message. I'll request all of us in the house to sing this song. In 2 minutes' time, I'll be done. Don't worry, comrades. We'll sing this song, Sizojiki Zinto. This is how, as PSA, we are supporting this program. We are saying, Sizojiki Zinto. Okay. Kalelani, wenu kalela, wenu kalela, sizojiki zinto, hola mtwana, wenu kalelani, wenu kalelani, wenu kalela, sizojiki zinto, wenu kalela, wenu kalela, wenu kalela. Amandla. Auwe mmusho wa dirongwana tša GBVF, auwe. Re a leboga. We want to take this opportunity and support this program that is anticipating to make a user-friendly schooling and working environment. Because re a bona gore everywhere mo phelang ona batho ba fadisitše gender. Ebile ba bangwe ba šomiša gender bošaedi. So we are saying to all men who are using gender, we are saying not in our name. As PSA, we say those men who are abusing women, and we continue to support our workforce by SAPS, or arrest them and let them rot in jail. Because we continue to be in a country where everybody becomes onyogobaye. So as PSA, we condemn in strongest term all acts of GBV, and we are saying to even ladies, be strong and be very courageous. Know that you are not the second-class citizens, you are the first-class citizens. And understand that at workplace, no one should propose promotion in exchange of anything. And when we say anything, we mean anything. We are saying you are equally important and tasked with qualifications, power and authority to lead. So we are saying as PSA, we continue to support this program because this program aims to achieve and redress social illnesses that we are having in this country. We are also saying to students, never allow to be a weapon of those useless people, all in the name of exchange of marks and anything. Continue to be a soldier that drives freedom in your lifetime, to continue to be a weapon that will redress these social illnesses. And say no to GBV in strongest term. Never keep silent, shout out without fear and favor. Let those who are perpetrators be brought to book. Thank you.
That was the message of support by different unions and also the student representative. You know, Mpo, we've been going on and on about the program, and it seems like now we are going deep now.
No, definitely, we are going deeper. And to just get things moving along, we are going to get the keynote address. And I'd like to invite to the stage Mr. Shadrach Motlou from Services CETA as a member of Accounting Authority, for the introduction of the keynote speaker. A round of applause, please, as he makes it.
You know, if you can give him a jazz of a kind of a thing, a jazz kind of a thing, I know him when it comes to jazz.
Doctor, you've indicated that you're going to translate this book into other 6 languages. Congratulations. But you've left out my Sesotho. You're lucky. The chairman is here, the CEO is here, members of the executive board are here, the board is here, the company secretary is here. A meeting could be convened and we make an allocation for the Sesotho translation. It is never too late. Take advantage. My task is to introduce and to profile you, the Honorable Fulu Fellow Florence Razilani. You can hear it from my tongue that Dibari is a pure Mosotho. Florence Razilani is a passionate political activist who was born in Hamasakona, outside Makado. She began her journey as a young political activist in the African National Congress Youth League, driven by her intense desire to tackle issues of inequality, poverty, rural development, and women empowerment, amongst others. Her involvement in politics of the African National Congress saw her rise through the rank, having started at the bottom. She rose through the rank, assuming the position of the regional secretary of the ANC Youth League in the Vembe region. Being a tried and tested, she was then elected to the regional deputy secretary of the ANC in the same region. As a woman activist, her leadership qualities and activism elevated her to being elected to the position of African National Congress Women's League as a regional chairperson in the Vembe region in 2010. A year later, that will be in 2021, she was elected to the position of the Deputy Provincial Secretary of the ANC in the Limpopo province. Her political stardom, as well as her acumen, continued to elevate her as she proceeded to be elected to key positions of responsibility in the movement. In 2018, she was elected to the position of Deputy Chairperson of the ANC in Limpopo, a position she was re-elected to in 2022, and which she currently occupies. Her academic journey. Razilani is an academic enthusiast with a deep-rooted love for studying and expanding her knowledge base. Just over a week ago, she obtained a master's degree in public management from the University of Venda. She also holds a Bachelor of Arts degree from the same university, while also having obtained honors degree from the University of Limpopo.
Razilani embodies a diverse career which spanned many years as well as different responsibilities. In her political development, she started as a full-time councillor before she assumed the position of the executive mayor of Vhembe District Municipality. From being the executive mayor, she joined the Provincial Executive Committee as the MEC responsible for then safety, security, and liaison. From the provincial executive, she returned to local government and reassumed the position of the executive mayor of Vhembe District Municipality. In 2019, she returned to the provincial cabinet as the MEC of Transport and Community Safety. In June this year, or last year, June last year, when the 7th administration came into power, she was deployed to the Department of Social Development, a responsibility she is discharging with distinction as we talk. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome please to the stage, Honorable Fulufelo Florence Razilani.
Khomulitile itselela yabusupa yisipile basupatela khomulitile yabusupa yisipile basupatela.
Thank you so much. I feel very much honored to be ushered in a very dignified way. To the program directors, the founder and CEO of Africa Civil Education Foundation, Dr. George Peta, the chairperson of Services SITA Board, Mr. Stephen, chairperson of Theatre Board, Mekoza, HW SITA Board chairperson, Dr. Munisi, in our midst, the acting CEO of SITA, Mr. Sibusiso Dladla and your team, the CEO of Safety Security Sector, I also acknowledge you, the Commission for Gender Equality, Advocate Tando Gumede, in our midst, the representative of our Provincial Commissioner, Colonel Maja, the Capricorn TVET College Deputy Principal, and the entire management, the Principal of Nkangala TVET College, Student Representative Council, the leadership of SATU, NEHAU, and PSA, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very blessed afternoon to you all. Program directors, today we gather here not just to launch a program, but to ignite a movement towards a safer, more equitable and compassionate academic environment for all. The launch of the GBVF Mitigation Civic Education Program by the Africa Civic Education Foundation stands as a testament to our commitment to combat gender-based violence and harassment, particularly those forms that directly affect our female students. In the same vein, program directors, I stand before you with a heart heavy with sorrow and concern. The scourge of gender-based violence and femicide has claimed the lives and well-being of too many of our daughters, sisters, mothers, and friends in our province. And as the MEC for Social Development, appointed by our Honorable Premier Dr. Popi Constance Ramatuba, it is with deep sympathy and empathy that I express my heartfelt condolences to the students, families, and communities who have been directly impacted by these tragic and terrible acts of violence. Gender-based violence and femicide are grave realities that haunt our communities and institutions. It penetrates the very fabric of our education system, threatening not only the physical safety of our female students, but also their academic progress, aspirations, and dreams. Picture the countless young women who arrive on campus each day, full of hope, determined to build a future for themselves. Yet far too often, they met with shadows of fear and anxiety as the threat of violence looms large over their academic journey. Program directors, Limpopo, like many other parts of our beloved country, has witnessed distressing incidents of gender-based violence and femicide in recent years, particularly amongst our student population. These incidents, which have rightfully caught the attention of the media and the nation, demand our collective action and unwavering commitment to fighting this scourge. And I'm quite impressed that all those stakeholders who were afforded opportunity to speak before me, all of you are committed to the fight against the scourge of gender-based violence and femicide. Program directors, these incidents, which have rightfully caught the attention of the media and the nation, as I said, I'm repeating, it demands our collective action and unwavering commitment to fighting this scourge. One such incident that remains engraved in our minds is the tragic case of a young student in 2020. A 20-year-old girl went missing and was later found murdered. Her last known moments were spent with her boyfriend, a tragic sign of the dangers that many young women face in relationships that should offer them support, not harm. The pain and anguish that this loss caused her family, friends, and our community cannot be measured, but it is a constant reminder that we must remain vigilant in the fight against gender-based violence and femicide. In addition to these program directors, in Tzaneen, 4 young female students fell victim to a harrowing attack. These students were raped in their student residence in Papadi village. This invasion of their personal space, their safety, and their rights is an unforgivable crime. And thanks to the swift and diligent work of our law enforcement, 2 suspects were arrested, but this incident leaves us with a painful reminder of the vulnerability that too many of our students face on a daily basis. These are just some of the devastating incidents of gender-based violence that have affected our female on daily basis here in the province of Limpopo. But these are not isolated cases. This is a widespread and deeply troubling crisis. It is a crisis that demands that we speak out, demand action, and ensure that no woman or girl feel unsafe in her own community or institution. And we see the love of God. We see the grace of God to us as the people of Limpopo, as the people of the Republic of South Africa, for having Dr. Peta, who is hard at work to ensure that when we invest in the program for to fight gender-based violence, we must be focused. We must do it in such a way that we make an impact to the people that we are saving. Program directors, I stand here today to condemn these violent acts in the strongest possible terms. Gender-based violence is not only a violation of basic human rights, but it is also an insult to our shared values of respect, equality, and dignity. The Department of Social Development, in collaboration with other stakeholders, is committed to eradicating this epidemic. We will not rest until every woman and a girl in Limpopo is able to live free from the fear of violence. To support this commitment, the University of Limpopo has undertaken a critical research on gender-based violence and femicide, which was presented to the department. This research will, among others, guide our approach, ensuring that our interventions are evidence-based, effective, and focused on prevention, education, and support for survivors. We acknowledge the importance of this research, and the department has vowed to work closely with the university, using its findings to inform our policies, programs, and strategies in the fight against gender-based violence and femicide. I would like to commend the Africa Civic Education Foundation for launching this comprehensive gender-based violence and femicide mitigation civic education program at Capricorn TVET College. This program, which will reach 7,850 beneficiaries, both students and staff, will provide much needed education on gender equality, safety, and the rights of our women. And I want to indicate this to our beloved learners, that during the briefing session, Dr. Peta, together with CETA, they made a commitment that they are not going to limit this program to the number that I've already indicated. They are going to make sure all the learners in Capricorn TVET College, the learners that might reach 12,000, they are going to benefit out of this program. The program will also foster a culture of respect, understanding, and accountability within the Capricorn TVET College community. The gender-based violence and femicide mitigation civic education program, it's a beacon of hope, aiming not only to educate, but also to empower every one of us.
It reminds us that it is our responsibility to create a safe and supportive environment for our female counterparts, extending our commitment to eradicating gender-based violence and femicide beyond the walls of education and into the fabric of our society. Program directors, this initiative is a crucial part of our collective fight against gender-based violence and femicide. By empowering our youth with knowledge, skills, and the ability to challenge harmful stereotypes and behaviors, we are taking proactive steps towards creating safer and more inclusive spaces in our educational institutions. This program will not only benefit the student and employee of Capricorn TVET College, but it will also contribute to a broader culture shift that prioritizes the safety, well-being, and dignity of every woman and a girl. To the male students, I urge you to step forward and embrace a protective role for your female peers. Your support can be transformative. Stand up against disrespectful language and behavior. Stand by your friends and classmates when they share their fears and experiences. Remember, it is not enough to be non-violent. We must also be actively anti-violence. By being allies and advocates for gender equality, you can foster an environment in which women feel safe, respected, and empowered to thrive academically and beyond. As President Ramaphosa has rightfully described gender-based violence and femicide as a pandemic, it is a disease of our society that we must address with the same urgency, compassion, and dedication as many other public health crises. This fight cannot be fought by government alone. It is a battle that requires the collaboration and commitment of all sectors of society. Our communities, our educational institutions, our religious leaders, our law enforcement, and more importantly, our youth. Women must feel free in the country of their birth. Women must feel safe and valued, not just in their homes, but in the institutions of higher learning where they seek to build their futures. Every woman has the right to live without fear, to pursue her dreams, and to contribute to society without the shadow of violence looming over her. Program directors, as we embark on this journey together, let us remember that true progress lies in our unity and shared responsibility. As we embark in this journey together, let us always remember that true progress lies in our unity and shared responsibilities. We can't behave like foreigners in our own country. We must be the ones upholding the Constitution of the Republic. We are not foreigners. We are citizens of this country. Therefore, we have an obligation to respect the rules of the land. Let us ensure that Capricorn TVET College becomes a sanctuary of learning where every student, regardless of gender, can pursue their education in an atmosphere of safety and mutual respect. Together, we can build a future where gender-based violence and femicide is no longer tolerated and where every individual can achieve their fullest potential. As we stand together in solidarity, let us renew our commitment to the fight against gender-based violence and femicide. Let us create a Limpopo and a South Africa where women and girls can live with dignity, equality, and security. I call upon all of us, government, communities, institutions, and individuals to work hand in hand to bring an end to this scourge. And program directors, let me thank you for the opportunity afforded to me. We are going to work with our TVET college. We are going to make sure we give them the necessary support. I've already requested the staff attached to my office, Dr. Peta, because very soon I will be presenting the budget of the department in the legislature, and I have requested them that in my budget speech, they must make sure that this program of today is also included, because we have the responsibility and duty to make sure that we inform the community about the good work that you are doing together with CETA to empower our young people, the future of our country, with a better knowledge, so that wherever they are, they must stand firm and defend the gains of our democracy. May the faithful God bless all of us. I thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. You know, Mpo, as the MEC was narrating her speech here, especially when she started to speak about the word of God and the love of God, you know, I just felt some prophesying spirit starting to manifest within me. I'm like, yo, the presence of God is here now. Hey.
No, that
I
is
almost prophesy.
That is the result of definitely a powerful woman, and we are so grateful and thankful for the pledge of support. I think you heard that.
Yes.
And also the inclusion into the presentation of the department's budget presentation. So that is very important and very key. I appreciate your words, MEC, and your commitment to this cause, to this great cause that is only at its initial stages. What is yet to come is really big, and it is so comforting to understand that the department is behind the journey 100%. So we are moving to the reading of the launch message. We want to seal it. We want to cast it in stone. We want to make sure that it is sealed, we understand, and it is cemented even in our memories. Now, I'd like to call the Accounting Authority member from Services CETA, Notkolo Koko. A round of applause, please.
I had to meet you here today. Lightsaber Emara. There's just so many things to say. I need to even please don't stop me till about 2019. This is something. Okay, let's sing louder. We've been meeting here, so okay, outside TV, just say, ta la 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 la. Say, please, darling, don't you cry. Everybody say, say, say. Ingabe siyathanda uyalumastana. Yabana, say, nibajo uwe. Uloliwe wayi tutula. Uloliwe. Wow. Uloliwe wayi tutula. Okay, let's go to Limpopo. Limpopo man. Kilorile popula. Kilorile swara swara. Kilorile Antusa.
How did you know? Thank you. All protocol observed. I'm going to apologize because I won't be able to quote everybody, name, calling, or whatever. But before I say anything, can I be allowed to ask the board members of Services SETA that are here today and management so that we can all be here and celebrate this day and make and show who we are, because we are developing and growing people. So please, my colleagues, my management, stay with me on this one.
You are as a man or no. See you. But my God, you are as a man or yes, I do know. Yes, I do know. But I don't know. See, oh, no, no. See, oh, see, oh. See, oh, mama, see, oh. See, oh, see, oh. See, oh, mama, see, oh. See, oh, see, oh. See, oh, mama, see, oh. See, oh, see, oh. See, oh, cheesy, toe. Everybody say, see, oh, cheesy, toe. Back to my guy. See, oh, see, oh. See, oh, mama, see, oh. See, oh, see, oh. See, oh, mama, see, oh. See, oh, see, oh. See, oh, mama. See, oh, cheesy, toe. Ribula yam piazzena. Ribule ya piatina. Ribule ya piatina. Ribule ya piatina. Everybody, Chivagamo. Listen, akwala acheche.
I made a mistake. There are some of our colleagues in other cities that are part of us here today. My apologies. If it's still possible, can you just join us, please? Please, Siswezi. Siswezi nani?
Pow! 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 Yeah, 1, 2, 3, Galavanta. Say, 1, 2, 3, Tiger. Gaga, gaga, what's gaga, gaga? I just say you 1, 2, 3, Tiger. Say, gaga, gaga, what's gaga, gaga? Mi donna persona, mi donna persona, mi donna persona, mi donna sai, mi donna persona, mi donna persona, mi donna sai, give me la persuento. Where's that? That money to me, give me la persuento.
Good energy, thank you. Good energy there. Let's come to business. Entertainment is part of us. We can't be crying every day, huh? No, we need to be excited about life. There's still life beyond this. One thing, before we were board members, we are South African civilians. And whatever we do, we apply the national policies, we apply the provincial ones, we apply, it won't be long. We apply, so South Africa stands against abuse, violence, and femicide. Limpopo stands against. Services SETA stands against. Hence, we are here today. And we even add something like, we're here to find a mitigation into the challenge. Capricorn, TVET, is here to do it. Africa Civic Education Foundation is giving us the wheels to make it work. So this is a collaboration and a partnership of us as Services SETA saying we're part of this. I think the acting CEO said something about this being phase 2. Yes, it is. And as much as we are very vulnerable about these issues, and we cry, don't think we don't, but we're here to move. Remember somebody else said it's a movement? It is a movement. So we're here to launch the project. Our chairperson, Mr. Stephen De Vries, our members that are here, they're here to witness. Some are not here. We apologize because there are other commitments. The management is here. We want to see and make a difference. And we comply and agree with what Dr. Peter has been saying to all of us today behind closed doors in different sessions that we've had with him about this project. And it says, as humanity dignity gets contradicted by pervasive acts of inhumanity, as power overtakes purpose and convenience overtakes conscience, and as women and children are subjected to pain, anxiety, and even loss of life, knowledge development becomes important by day, and civic education becomes urgent than just necessary. Sounds English, eh? Big English, because it talks to us. In support of the preventative pillar of National Strategic Plan on GBVF, Services Center, Africa Civic Education Foundation, Capricorn TVET College collectively launched the anti-GBF and social order civic education program for the cultivation of Ubuntu, peace, respect of human dignity, and shared prosperity in and outside the TVET college environments. And I think we'll take this to other TVETs too, isn't it, Doctor? We record our collective gratitude to Limpopo, Madam MEC, to Limpopo Provincial Local Government, and all social players for supporting this launch. Now, what the emphasis is on women's rights are human rights. We need to stop the abuse and violence against women and children. Children's rights are human rights. And it says, according to Dr. Peter, I am Ubuntu, I am dependable. South Africa is against violence and femicide. And thank you.
Let's give them a round of applause again, once more. Thank you so much. Yeah, kumnanda pe stage. Abasafuna ukuphuma abantu. Hey, kumnanda pe stage. Ay kumnanda. Without having to waste more time, we want to move right along to handing of tokens of appreciation by Ms. Kanyisile Kaba, the Executive Management Assistant from ASEF, and also Dr. Pale Samahlangu, Research and Quality Assurance from ASEF. Let's give them a bit of a song while they're coming forth so that they can take us through.
Muleta Israel, Anomali, I am saying, get it out of jump, 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 oh, let us, my baby, I am saying, jump, jump, out of pass, pass, jump, let's go. Pass, pass, pass. Glory, riqueza, glory, riqueza, was, jo. My answer, please. The Holocaust. Glory, riqueza, glory, riqueza. Sengizothenga lo bhayibhayi lo uthubulitha uzombona thembu uNkulunkulu uyowaziyo ngesasana omuda chuyas ukamama obuyana
Kgotsong. I'm here with my daughter and colleague, Kanyisile Klaba. We come from the family of ACF and would like to convey our gratitude to all of you for gracing this occasion. However, there are people that we would like to especially convey our gratitude to, not because we are not important, but we can't be able to do it to all of you. So, in the words of Tsepo Tsula, he has a song that says, "What you are is a gift from God, but what you become, it's your gift to God." So I would like to thank the following people for being a gift to God and to us in whichever way they have participated to make this occasion a success. I would like to start with the Honorable Mme Razilani, our MEC. I hope I'm doing it right. Amen. I think you could come, Monet. Okay, Khona, this side. Oh.
Luna Baratango Opela Mosa Wates Kerekopola Aya 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 Bayikele Sefapano Mahekega Atumakai Omaka Mashweledi Yaitama Uhalipiri mile Alipi Ripi Une amuroko Uneya Uro Wakilanaki Yajutapi Watatayani Rato Tadeya Lira
Realeboha. This song is so appropriate because kasheku ke labone ke letsatsi la bo mme ba manyano. So haka ya kereke ke a leboha. We would also like to acknowledge the fact that Dr. Peter has so graciously given and selflessly given of his book, Women's Rights Are Human Rights. So as part of the token of appreciation, you will be in receipt of this book. And I believe that Ndade Peter, for writing this book, he was trying to remind us of what we always say, that we are all made in God's image. So women's rights are human rights too. So whoever comes in front now, as we call the list, please come to the fore. Don't come to the stage so that we can expedite this process. The next name that we will mention is that of Deputy Principal Koni Malika.
Moya waka tu shankela babi with so much uzikini biloya uzikini bi Batumakai kuselu moya wa Obamna dohama Kichonge chonge uwe oh okay.
Okay, the next person is the Secretariat, Mr. Philip Kwampe. Okay, I guess Ndate Kwampe is not present, so someone will receive on his behalf.
Umuhamu wa modi yeye kikweta
All right.
Boom 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 boom.
Point of procedure, it is thought that it would be best if I just call all the names. So what I will do now, I won't call all of them at the same time, but I will do segments of names. Followed Ndade Kwambe, and Ndade Kwambe will be acting executive, and Ndade Makaya Blai. And then following him will be the acting CEO, Ndade Sibusiso Dladla.
Hey, when I'm Africa, everybody say, Kale Uduti. And then, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Would like to also to call Mr. Alfred Mpoba, from forensics. And then we will also like to acknowledge Colonel Memaja from SEPS, as well as the National Commissioner, Metando Kumete.
Aishe beleza jano Yebuseri Nata mama Aishe beleza jano Yebuseri Nata mama. Everybody, Ai come man, come
Would now like to acknowledge members of the AA. We'll start with Ndade Shadrach Mutlou, Me Nokolo Koko, Mr. Kurumnan Govender, Me Patricia Sitole, Me Rendani Dlamini.
Igamupi, what's the song? Everybody say, you sounding so beautiful. So, say, Kauni Kana, Mama.
I would also like to acknowledge that Tepang or Tepang Mukhokong, CGE, and then now would like to also acknowledge the chairperson, Mr. Stephen DeFries, also another member of the AA, Date Wiseman Dinwa, Me Alice Karanja, Le Me Julia Nzimani.
Wakala nami, lichoni.
Chieta. And then from the Student Support Services, would like to acknowledge Tebogo Mohale.
Limna di Gama. Limna di Gama. Easily goes home, Shaba. As is so sad. Hotel Bisile. Bam bam zalwane, bam bam zalwane, oh yes, bam bam zalwane, oh yes, mercy,
Amen. Would like to also acknowledge Dr. Mnishi from the HWCTA and a member of the SUB-CITA and the president of the SSRC.
oh Tori, what shall we do? Send the jar, Jassa. Somebody scream! Yeah, Tony, what shall we do? Send the jar.
Just a point of correction, I said a member of SUB-CITA, but the appropriate acknowledgement is the CEO of SUB-CITA. In conclusion, we at ACF would like to encourage all of you as we sojourn together in this fight for gender-based violence. Please bear with us.
There's a train that comes from Namibia and Malawi. And there's a train that comes from Zambia and Zimbabwe. From Lesotho, from Botswana, from Swaziland, from all the hinterland of Southern and Central Africa. This train carries young and old African men who are conscripted to come and work on contracts in the gold and elements of Johannesburg and its surrounding metropolis. 16 hours a day for almost no pay. Deep down in the belly of the earth, when they're digging a drill for that shiny mighty basic stone.
Batho le re tshwareleng di teboga di fele akere. Yaanong re rata go leboga manager of SUB-CITA at Tlhokopele and the CEO Ntate Mdontswa, CEO of SUB-CITA as well.
Ke maketse fela.
Ke maketse fela. Amen. Ne re tlo kopa re batlile re etsa phoso bathong. Ne re tlo kopa gore MEC a tlo nka mpho ya premier of the province.
Unonkadimile motswalle wa riputa ka lerato le hape lui ke le botlhoko wetse tato ya tumele tate ati se tole mamelo hote hote ilike more uluki le hulukile
In conclusion, we at ACF, we would like to encourage you as we sojourn together through the fight against gender-based violence, through this word or this message. Ma Africa, remember. Remember the beauties that you bore, whose beautiful faces have been martyred and scarred by the scourge of gender-based violence. Ma Africa, remember. South Africa, where flowers have lost their meaning. In other countries, they decorate, but in our country, they cover the graves of our beloved daughters and mothers whose lifespan has been curtailed by this evil called gender-based violence. Ma Africa, remember. Our national anthem, the value that it upholds when it says, Morena boloka setjhaba sa heso, o fedise dintwa le matshwenyeho. Ma Africa, women, my sons and daughters, stand up and say no. Say no to the brutal killings of your family members through femicide. Stand up and say no to young children, young girls turned into mothers because of teenage pregnancy. Say no to the sale of our people as if ke dikgomo through human trafficking. Ma Africa, stand up and say no. Take no bribes to tell the truth. Take no bribes to silence you. Ma Africa, say yes, do not say no. Say yes when it is right, say no when it is wrong. Ma Africa, stand up and say no. Re a leboga.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause, okay? Mpo,
Yes, sir.
I would like to also acknowledge you for being the best master of ceremony. They forgot about you. Don't worry.
Heaven, are you authorized?
I'm looking after your back.
Are you authorized to do this? How? I'm just checking.
Mpo.
I'm just checking.
Okay, take it back, please.
I will.
Thank you. We are going to the vote of thanks and reflections by the Services Sector Accounting Authority Chairperson, Stephen DeFries. Let's give him a round of applause as he's coming forth to give us a vote of thanks.
Good afternoon. I'm now the person between yourself and lunch. Now, for the entire day, I delegated responsibilities to other board members, but the acting CEO decided that he's going to delegate up to give me a responsibility. So, earlier I said to the acting CEO that I've prepared a speech to talk earlier, but because of my voice, I said no, I don't want to speak. But then, during the night when I couldn't sleep, I thought that I must say a story with you. I've just spent 230 rand for my daughter to buy pepper spray because she's at the university and she doesn't feel safe. During 1 week, she was robbed nearly. She was nearly kidnapped. She was in a car. She kept her cool and phoned her friends. And she had the registration number of the car and she described the driver. They luckily decided to drive and drop her at the residence. At the same residence, 2 students already went missing. Nobody has seen them since they disappeared. And then one of the young male students, the same week, decided that it is fun for him to grab and hold her against her will. And that is what is happening in society. The other expense I'm going to have is she's going to buy a teaser. Now, why is it that 30 years after democracy, when you have promised you young people freedom, that is not free for young women and children to roam our streets? I said earlier to the MBC that we must take responsibility as government. We have failed you as young people. I know at times that is something that we don't want to say. But on this one, on gender-based violence, we have failed you as young people. So it's your responsibility, as Dr. Peter have said, is to take up that spear and not talk about what if. The other story I want to say. My father died at a very young age. I just knew that he was knocked off his bicycle on his way to work. When I was in my mid-30s, one of my uncles then decided to tell me how he died and why he died. He intervened in a domestic fight where a man was beating his wife. And that person waited and he intervened, not sure what else he had done to that guy. He then, on the Monday morning, when my father was on his way to work, he was killed. Now after that, I was very scared to intervene when there's violence or abuse of women in front of me, because I was thinking about what was going to happen. But then I realized that what if the thousands of young people in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, what if they were afraid to fight the apartheid regime with a stone in their hand while guns R1s and R4s was pointing at them? What if they decided not to do that? So I realized that it's time for me also to take up the spear. And when I see that, where women are abused, is to intervene. Now, one of the speakers have said is start within your friendship, within your family. I'm known in my hometown to chase you away from my house. If you're abusive to a woman, if you don't treat your woman well, I chase you out of my house. If you're racist, that's a given. You're gone. But at times, we are afraid to break a relationship with that friend who's buying the alcohol, the one with the car. So we tolerate it in our friendship. Week after week, we sit down with those persons. And while we know that that person is abusing his wife or his child. Now, you must not one day ask, what if I took up this opportunity to become an ambassador to fight against GBV? Don't be the person, and I'm talking now to the students, when your daughter or your boy comes home crying, something have happened to him or her. Don't be that person then to say, what if I've took up the opportunity to go into the world and society, and then what I'm going to, during this course, what I'm going to learn, what if I didn't go there? So my appeal to young people, we need a revolution. You need to be fearless like we were when we were facing Caspers and bullets. Otherwise, we are going to fail you. It's 30 years after democracy. It's time you put pressure on me and others like me that are in position of power and say that we are not happy with what you are doing. So I hope that you as students will go out here and after your training, you will become those ambassadors in your community. Now let me then say to you what I was asked to do. You see, there's one thing they say that you don't give politicians sometimes a mic. Honorable MEC, Rajilani, the Executive Mayor in his absence, the Commissioner of Gender Equality, representatives from SAPS, the team of Dr. Peta, Department of Higher Education, the Student Representative Council, Labour partners, the Capricorn TVET College, volunteers and dedicated team that work behind the scenes. I normally like those people because I'm normally one of those who work behind the scenes. On behalf of the service-sitter, I extend our sincere gratitude to all stakeholders who have contributed to the success of today's launch. To the MEC and the Limpopo Provincial Government, thank you for your leadership in prioritizing GBV interventions and ensuring that government remains at the forefront of addressing this crisis. To the Commission and SAPS, your presence today reinforced the importance of collaboration between advocacy, law enforcement, and education in combating GBV. To ICEF and Dr. Peta, your commitment to education and civic engagement is critical in ensuring this program is impactful. MECF asked me whether we're going to roll out this program to other campuses or to other TVETs and other in the rest of the PCET sector. I said to her, unfortunately, the service sitter won't be able to do it alone. But that's why we have invited other sitters, and hopefully that they will come on board. We have 21 sitters, and I think that we can roll out this across South Africa. And also your advocacy where you are in your position is also to put or to advocate for the sitters to come on board and support this program financially. To the TVET College, thank you for hosting us and making your institutions of learning safer for your students and learners. A heartfelt appreciation to the volunteers, organizers, and the team working behind the scenes. Your dedication and effort have ensured the smooth running of this event. Finally, again, to the students and community members, this initiative is about your safety, your future, and your right to live free from violence. Let us turn today's discussion into real action and lasting impact. I thank you.
Again, apologies. The omission was not intentional. I'd like to acknowledge the following persons. Ndate Wiseman Dinwa from the service sitter. Ausi Riulani Makubela from Namunta Training. Sorry if I mispronounced it. And last but not least, I will come. Please just be patient with me. I'll come to you in a moment. But last and not least, it's our presenters, our program directors. Michael Mbambale, Le Mpo Mashita. They did a stunning job. Please give them a round of applause.
Let's give them a round of applause as they are. Wow.
Thank you for your patience with us.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the program. So thank you so much for just riding with us. Now, we are going to make a short announcement of how we are going to receive lunch this morning. Our distinguished guests, the VIP, this morning you were in holding rooms. So as our VIPs make their way to the holding room this side and the one on the other side, that's what we are going to ask if everyone can remain seated, and then our guests can make the way to the holding rooms. For the rest of us, we are going to be served at the back of these banners. That's where we'll be able to queue. There's more than enough food. We'll all be able to receive.
No. As we are wrapping up, ending GBV is not just a women's fight. It is a national crisis that demands action from everyone. Men and women in South Africa must recognize their power to either reinforce or dismantle the structure that enables GBVF by challenging toxic masculinity, holding peers accountable, supporting survivors, and advocating for policy change. Men and women can become allies in the fight of a safer and more equal South Africa. If we are serious about ending GBVF in South Africa, we must start with women and men stepping up, not as protectors, but as partners in the fight for justice. Ladies and gentlemen, from myself, Huri M. Mbambare, and Mpo Mashita, we are so grateful and thankful, and we love you so much.
Thank you. And can we also give it up for the band? A round of applause for the band.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been absolutely amazing. Ngadopteng, kinotsamaya le lena fela. Kitlakuka di katara. So a round of applause once again for the band. Absolutely amazing. We can make our way to the back to queue and let's enjoy lunch.
Thank you.